It's recording.
That's the best
All
part.
right.
Welcome.
Welcome. We are here, The Real Deal ATX, Rebecca Tarazi,
I'm Delee Hermes.
and we have our guest, Kym Burns. She is an amazing lender with Benchmark Mortgage. I get it wrong every time I try to announce anyone. I probably shouldn't be the one that does it. So I messed up with Taylor, too. Everyone I mess up. Anyway.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. And so I guess we'll just start with you telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes.
So cool.
Yeah.
So I am with Benchmark Mortgage. As you mentioned, we're local here in ATX, and which is super helpful for our market, right? I'm not behind a screen and in a different country.
So
Right.
important.
Been in mortgage. I was a teacher and coach for 24 years prior to doing this. And then I jumped into the mortgage business right around 2021 when everybody was winning.
Right.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
Right? And so experienced and got my sea legs and everything probably in the first year. Totally been originating now for about 4 years. And I jumped in when, quite frankly, you had to sink or swim.
Yeah.
Right? Like you really
too.
just have to kind of figure out how to navigate the turns and tides of this market. And it helps when you have good realtor partners.
Right.
And so just kind of been in the loop of learning how to help people and using the skill set from being a teacher and coach into the mortgage side, right? Like it's pretty seamless at the end of the day, although they're not 11 and 13-year-olds. I'm now dealing with adults.
Adult children.
Right. But, you know, at the end of the day, everybody likes to feel certain and everybody wants to kind of understand. I always say, I'm going to give you the why, the how, and what's next, right? Like action steps and the understanding, especially for those people who are first-time home buyers.
Right.
Just want to know a lot about the beginning stages and how is this going to work and what's next, you know? So, other than that, I'm also live here in Austin, 3 dogs, happily married. We're going to be 20 years together.
Wow.
September.
Congrats.
Thank you.
It's incredible.
My wife is the absolute pinnacle and support of who I am and where I am right now. And that is just, you know, speaking very authentically and truly.
And she is so strong.
Physically, too.
Physically. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, wow. Even my husband was like, did you see her muscles? And I'm like, no, I saw them. He was like, oh.
We talk all the time about, like, she's a walking billboard for her business.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that is
For
just
sure.
the nature of her business. But
Which she's a trainer at Collective.
she is
Yeah.
up north, the
Yeah.
location up north, and has been there now for about 2 years. She was she's kind of been there since they started. They opened the doors in February of 2023, I feel like, and she's been rolling with them since.
Nice. Yeah, so if anyone has questions about Collective, hit
Oh.
us up too.
Yeah,
Point you in
100%.
the right direction. She's
Yeah.
a great trainer.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you were a member to that gym
For a
for a
while.
while. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great gym.
Yeah, it's what I like about it is like it's very modern, and the equipment is easy to use. It's not your typical. I guess maybe like remember how you used to. Some still do, but you know how you, like the silver pins that you had to turn and then put in.
Yeah.
The big old silver blocks.
Yes.
Of push press, right?
Yeah.
Like everything's just modernized. It's smoother to our joints and our
Right.
muscles and stuff like that. So, but you
Nice.
know, to kind of just recap that small piece is when you make a life transition, you know, having been in a career for 24 years and then you're going to take a leap of faith into something totally different. You have to have that support system, and she by far was that for me.
Aw,
That's
I
great.
love that.
So shout out to my girl.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
love that. Yeah. So you've been, so whenever I got into real estate in 2018, you get as a realtor, and I'm sure other realtors know, you get an influx of lenders, title companies, home warranty companies, all the people that they want to take you to coffee, they want to meet you, they want to be your preferred person. And it took me forever to find, you know, I had people that I work with, and since I knew they were local and they would respond, I would, okay, I'll send my clients to them because I've had not like an extraordinary experience, but a good experience with, where I wasn't like, are we going to close? Crickets, no communication, which happens. It's crazy. And met you at an Alliance event, and we spoke just probably for like 10 minutes, not too long, or maybe a little longer than that. And then you have really good follow-up. I do not. Most realtors don't. We're like, yeah, one day. And so, but Kym was so good about it. She was like, I'm not trying to bug, but I really would love to get in front of you. And finally I did, and it's been the most incredible work relationship and friend relationship, I feel like, since then. I've never, and the lenders will always say, what can we do? What do you want from your lender? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really have a good answer for that. And I
someone who picks up the phone.
Answer the phone. And they're like, oh, we do that. I'm like, do you? But you actually, now I do have something to tell them, because what you offer for your agents, I feel like should be exactly what every lender should try to do. Mm-hmm. You really, so just one example, I'm horrible with names. Remember when we introed, she told me 2 minutes before we even did it, and I still messed it up. I know it's mortgage. I was like, lending? Partners? What should I say? Anyway, but I'm horrible with names, and so I joint referred a client to her. And I should definitely know. It's someone that had worked on my knee. I saw her every week, twice a week. I knew her name. I could not think of it. There are also like 100 of the same people in all of my same as hers, though, right? And I reached out and I was like, hey, odd question. Remember that one client I sent your way 6 months ago? And she said this and this. Do you know that person's name? And sure as shit, she called me, but she was like, let me check, and called me back and was able to give me that name. Now that's what I want from a lender partner. I want, like, where I am not great, I love that you are great and you're there for your agents in a way that I'm not sure a lot of lenders would be able to do. Either you're the most organized person in the world,
yeah,
which is probably or I don't know what it is, but I've had so many good experiences with you and how you care for my clients, and even clients that, like, you go above and beyond for your agents and your clients. I really feel that way, and it's been great.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So whenever you are meeting with a new client or a new agent, what are some of the things that you're telling that agent of the things that you do that are different?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's also really, really important. I understood getting into the business around 2021, not a lot of people were meeting face-to-face anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we're just coming out of COVID and the whole work. So, if you can backtrack a little bit about what that felt like, is to invite people to meet you face-to-face was really difficult. Mm-hmm. And so you talk about follow-up and having systems in place. An organization does help. You have to have all that, and I'll equate that a little bit, I was a military kid, and discipline was rampant in my family. Right? You paid attention to details. Plug in the VA programs. I love it, by the way. But, coming from that discipline, that certainly has helped. When you're a teacher, you have to be organized. Mm-hmm. Names are important to kids. So that's why names are easy for me to try to remember, right? Like, that makes a difference. So when you asked about names, I knew kind of like, oh. And so to answer your question, to get in front of somebody is the first step, honestly, and it has to come from a place of being genuine and authentic, right? In case, if I just recap my relationship with Rebecca, is we met at Alliance. You feel synergy with people, you just get it. You know what I mean? And we were locked in with each other for that 10 minutes that it might have been. There was just something there. And she's right. I'm not going to be overbearing, but I do remember, like, within 24 hours, my process is, if I meet somebody that I enjoy or think there could be a possibility, I will create a video. a personalized video. And I believe that's what I did with hers, like 48 hours later, because I wanted her to remember who I was.
Right.
Because she's
That's helpful.
Yeah, you're a successful realtor. And as you mentioned, you guys are getting hit off the hook with, you know, can you meet for coffee? Can you meet for coffee? X, Y, and Z. And so when I made that personalized video, I remember she immediately wrote back like, yes, I'm totally in, right? And there's things you have to do to kind of separate yourself from the rest of the crowd. My branch manager and I talk about this a lot. You have to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
And that personalized touch of just using a video, I think kind of recollected who I was in our instance, and then also let her hear the tonation and who I am at my core. You know, I am not wired for sales, although that is our job,
Yeah.
right? I am wired for a relational capacity. That is really crucial to me. And you can feel that with people on if it's reciprocated or not. And so, you know, after or reaching out to someone or how my systems look to get a face-to-face is typically meet them somewhere, follow up within 24 to 48 hours. If they're a yes, great. I also like to give very specific, like layout multiple times and days because you're busy.
Right.
And I need to respect that.
Yeah.
Right. And so providing options. And what I'm doing when I do that is I'm actually setting the stage for my realtor partners to see what I'm doing with them on how I'm interacting and meeting with them,
Right.
because I do the same thing with our clients that
Yeah.
you hand off.
Being consistent and
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, and it looks the exact same,
Right.
right? So like if you were to shoot me a lead, same scenario. We are in a group text, I chat, I make first contact, and then I bounce to a separate feed, and I make them a personalized video of who I am, and then I provide times and dates for a discovery call.
Nice.
So everything is really seamless inside of the systems. And then when you get that opportunity to be face-to-face, at first when I was new, I had 10 very specific questions. And I would take my notebook, literally like my notebook. and I was very nervous in my first very couple of meetings. And I would ask them a series of questions. And they appreciated that I was listening and taking notes. Some of
Yeah.
those relationships are still here
Right.
that I'm working with. And because, you know, we have 2 of these and 1 of this. And when you're a lender, you have to use these way more than this, right? So listening to what's important and also kind of how the other person is wired
Yeah.
to ensure there's going to be some synergy
Yeah.
or
Right.
seamlessness. Because the truth is I've met a ton of people and I don't tribe with everybody, and that's okay, although it's hard. My branch manager said, Kym, not everybody's going to like you. And I was like, oh, God.
I know, right?
What do you mean? You know
I'm
what I
like
mean?
90%
the
sure
same.
most people don't like me. But I don't like them either. Just kidding.
But you know, like you got to get like really present to that piece.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
they may not,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
they're strictly very transactional. You know, and you can feel that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like I just need it closed.
Right.
Where I'm more of a vendor, I'm not your partner. And if that's the case, I don't like that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
I need you to know, like, you can call me, like, we're going to talk about work, but we're also going to talk about other things, too, that's going on in your life, right? Like, the deals and the transactions are great, but at the end of the day, I want to be able to sit across and have dinner with you,
Right.
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's crucial importance because our borrowers, our clients, they feel that with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll remember you to come back.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And
and
something-
refer friends.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know?
definitely.
Yeah.
You can tell, like, when we went to the open house or housewarming party for Chris and Danielle, like, that type of relationship, like, they're going to use us forever and they're going to recommend us to everyone just because it's very authentic, you know? Something else that Kym does that is amazing is at the beginning of the year, we do, or a little, it was either beginning of the year or right before the end of the year.
Beginning of the year.
Beginning of the year. And we did kind of a planning, and she makes it very personalized for each agent because every agent works completely different. So your question was like, what do you do different that other lenders do different? She makes it very specific to us, right? So it's like, what do you need from me this year? What is going to help grow our business together
Right.
this year?
Yeah.
You know, so one of the things that we are working on is all of my lease clients, giving her kind of those people. And so she's going to also follow up. Are you going to rent again or are you going to buy? And then she's really, really good at keeping track of my clients' birthdays. So good at that. And then she like shoots it over to me, and then I look like I remember. I barely remember my kid's birthday and their names. So it's very helpful when she sends that to me. Just kidding. I know my kids' birthdays.
Their names?
So, and their names sometimes, depending on who's aggravating me that day. There's a lot of them. I'm like, hey, Toby, Hunter, Seth, whatever, you. But yeah, like she's so great at that. But like, it's because I specifically am like, this is where I am horrible. And if you have the patience and ability to help me with those things, that would be most beneficial to me. And then she does that,
Right.
which is great. And I would say not all lenders are like that. They're like, I'll give you this report and I'll give you that and I'll send you a thing. And I'm like, okay, but what I really would love if someone could remind me of birthdays, you know?
Yeah.
And so like, so
that is huge.
So that's why I'm like, it's really,
'Cause I forgot my
It's
best
right.
friends this year.
I messed up my so
I mean,
So me and my husband are planning. He's like, let's go on a cruise for my birthday. And that's next month. And I'm like, absolutely. And so when I was planning it, I put in the app, like the cruise app, to have like a special birthday on August 20th, blah, 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 blah. And then he heard me because he couldn't log in. He was trying to log in. And I called them and they're like, can you give me the info of the person? And I was like, August 20, 1972. And he looks at me and I'm like, what? I'm resetting your password, right? And I hang up the phone and he goes, what date were they asking you? And I was like, well, your birthday. On the app, it says the 20th. And he was like, that's not my birthday. So whoever's birthday that is, that's cool. And I was like, wait a minute. I get my phone out. In my phone, in the calendar, it is saved on the 21st, which is his birthday.
So
And I was like, I think it was already on the app, but it wasn't. I just did it wrong. I'm so bad with stuff like that.
I know, me too.
Because you got bigger fish to fry, sis. I mean, you know, you're trying to wheel and deal houses. So
Yeah,
I
that's a
mean,
good reason. That's
sometimes,
why.
You know, the little bricks, you know.
The little
Yeah.
things, I'm like, oh, I'm so bad. You know, I'll get better one day. Or I won't, you know? But
what we have
that's
Kym for.
that's what I have Kym for. But no, it's like stuff like that. So it's hard, I bet, for you to answer that question because it is so agent specific on what you do that's different because you make it about what the agent needs. And that is what your difference is. Other lenders have a set of things they do, and that's kind of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
You do not do that. So that's what sets you apart and makes you incredible.
Oh, I appreciate
And my
that.
favorite.
I think it's important to kind of know, you know, when I ask a very specific question, that's more of that follow through, right? Like if I ask you, hey, what do you need from me in 2025? What does that look like? I mean, I'm filleting myself out there for some, in addition to what I do as a loan officer, but I'm filleting myself out there to honor what you need. And if it's, you know, things that are in my CRM and easy for me to do, then why wouldn't I pass that on? You know, I'm interested in thinking about, like, Dilly, if you'll take it from here, you know, because we're there with kind of some of the things that are important, but what's important to you too inside of your relationship to your lender? Because authentically and just being transparent, right? Like you have other lenders you work with outside of, you know, I'm on your list.
Yeah.
But you certainly have other things that are important to you. What are some of those things?
Really and truly, which I know that you're really good at, but someone I can talk to after hours. That's kind of my biggest thing. Because
so
you get
important.
questions from your clients or people trying to become your client, right? And you're trying to get them to the next step to get approved, which seems to be sometimes very hard because people are really intimidated by it. They think they're going to not get approved at all, so they just don't even try.
That's right.
Or they don't want to look dumb, or they don't want to look poor, or not poor, but, you know, like broke, like they can't have enough to get approved, or, you know, there's just so many reasons. And so having a lender that I can, like, ask something real quick, you know, that my client asked me that I'm not sure, like, hey, can they get qualified if they have, you know, these 12 things, you know, or whatever.
It's always some weird thing. I'm like, wait, what? I've never heard of that in my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
So yeah, being able to like have a quick response to try and like keep that going, you know, is important to me. And just during the transaction too, you know.
Like under contract.
Yeah,
Yeah.
under contract.
Yeah.
And being able, because I have worked with, you know, those big giant lenders that are in a different state and they cover 50 states, you know.
Yep.
It's the worst.
And they, I mean, bless their hearts, but they do not, they suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're calling like some.
You're like one of 50 of their clients and there's no face. You can't, I don't know what they look like, you know,
No.
like, and they're not answering any questions after hours
No.
or on the weekends. And so,
No, it's
you
like
know,
banker hours. Oh God, don't use your bank for a mortgage, please, God. It's
Well, one of the
banker's
things-
hours, guys. Banker's
Yeah,
hours.
8 to 5 for real.
for real.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when are
remember-
you going to look at properties typically on the weekend?
That's
Yeah.
right.
When do you want to write an offer? Probably on the weekend
Yeah.
when you need an approval letter for
Yeah.
Yep.
that amount. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
I specifically remember a time you called, and although it wasn't on a resale home, it was for a new construction, right? And that too might be a little bit of a differentiation. You ask about like how to be different. I knew I wasn't going to be in the deal, but my service to you is important. My relationship to you and being able to
Right.
answer questions that you are front facing in front of clients and you need to be the expert in that moment. And we were talking about like how to explain, do we want to use the money towards concession or the rate buy down? Remember
right,
that?
Yes.
Right? And
They just had their housewarming party this weekend.
oh, very
Yay.
good.
The
Nice.
house is built
Yes.
and
I love
they
that.
finally just moved in 2 weeks ago.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's a
So,
perfect case in
yeah,
point, though,
it
right? Is
was.
I'm not in the deal, but my job is to help delete,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
right?
that was
and
so
a lot of lenders
helpful.
won't,
That
right?
was so helpful.
Yeah,
If
they
they're not
won't.
in the deal, it's like why they're not going to pick up, or you know, oh, it's a
Right.
new construction, wipe your hands of it. And look, all of our time is precious, but again, it goes back to circling around like, how do you value the relationship itself?
Yeah.
Right.
Right? And Delee's calling me because you have a great mathematical data mind. We've talked about that in our one-on-one masterminds, which what they're talking about is every beginning of the year for the first 12 weeks. I see anywhere between 2 and 3 realtors a week to kind of devise and have them be able to talk to me as their lender as to what's important to them and how they can create their goals for 2025. That's what these masterminds in the beginning of the year. And in particular, when we met this year, what I learned about you is the data-driven piece and the statistical piece is important to you.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not overstepping by sharing that,
No.
but I know like when you're calling me and asking me which one makes better sense, which route should we go, I want to be there for you,
Right.
regardless of being in the deal or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we appreciate that.
100%.
But sometimes you just need to ask. I'm not a lender. I'm
Yeah.
not the pro.
Yeah.
I know enough,
Yep.
you know, to
like,
answer
get
questions.
me in trouble. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But you know, we start talking numbers, and I'm like, hey, they know how to do all the things.
Yeah.
I'm the pro in selling the real estate and protecting your asset, but
Yeah.
when it comes to the bank and the lender,
I'm gonna sneeze.
yeah. So what are you seeing right now in the market,
Ooh,
in the Austin market?
what is today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What time is it? So it's just so for context, whenever this does come out, it's July 22nd. Right now, the big talk, or what we're seeing as lenders is it's been unusually quiet.
That's a good, polite way to say it.
And so what we would feel as real estate agents and probably lenders is we would expect this to be our on fire time. In fact, I would say that this is a lot of time where everybody's making their big money so that in the fall maybe they can pull back a little bit in vacation. And we're not feeling that. And so the big question everybody wants to know is, well, why? You know, and I can list 1,001 reasons, but I don't know. I can't pinpoint it to specific reasons. What I can share with you in conversations that I've had with people who either are pumping the brakes or not moving forward is the concern of the dynamics of our economy, just not knowing, right? Again, this is July 22nd, so on the 30th, we all know that potentially the tariff talk is kind of the new set in stone line with whether or not the negotiations for everybody's tariffs are going to be sorted out. So there's a little bit of that uncertainty. Things are things are more expensive. And so people are kind of tightening a little bit of the reins on things that maybe they would want, but then they're asking themselves, but do I need it? You get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So before it was like, I want it, I'm gonna have it, and we can. Right now it's, I think a lot of responsible people inside of their financial means are relooking at, do I need it though?
Yeah.
Or,
Right.
or can I wait?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm of that nature
Right.
now. You know, I want a lot of things, but they can wait.
Yeah.
And so been unusually quiet
Yeah.
for a summer. Applications are, in my experience, much slower, which I would expect to have multiple during this time and not. What I will share, and I share this with multiple people, is those people who are getting in the market, though, they are very intentional.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they are ready to buy.
Yeah.
Right.
They're very qualified and they're very intentional. And that intentionality, though, because they have so much inventory, we haven't had it like this, they're picky,
Right.
Very.
right? So when you would normally show maybe 5 or 6 homes on a weekend, you're now showing 5 and 6 for potentially 4 weeks,
Right.
Saturday and Sunday. Like the bulk of your work is a little bit more because of the choices.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you experiencing that as well? Will you each take a second to kind of say, are you showing more than you would normally, and or what you're feeling in that from that perspective?
I've had more listings lately, so I don't have too many buyers right now.
Yeah.
What's the traffic like in those listings?
They're okay. It depends on the listing and the area. I had one in Driftwood. It was overpriced, and you know, I tried to get them down and told them we had it in the listing agreement at a certain date.
Yep.
We're coming down because I knew they were priced too high, and I said, look, I don't want to do this, but if you really want to, which they were like adamant. I said, okay, let's do this. Well, we did not start getting showings until it was like 50K. Yeah.
And you knew that though in your
Oh, yeah.
gut, right? You knew, yeah.
Oh no, it was I wanted to list at 900, and I knew we'd probably get some buyers at like 875, 880, something like that. No, 975.
Yeah.
You know,
It's so,
So,
hard when
but
clients do that.
I had a listing in Apache Shores that he listened to me, priced very accurately and competitively. We had 2 showings in the first 2 days. So, I mean, you price right, you're gonna get showings.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very hard to explain that to clients, that it's all about pricing. You know, they're like, let's do an open house. I'm like, that doesn't matter.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you open it, they're not going to come. You have to price it right, and then they will come.
Right.
And, I said that no one's going to show up here. You
Right.
know, I tell
And they
them
didn't.
all the
We had
time.
an open house every weekend.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, maybe you need to put out more balloons.
No.
That's not going to make a
I'm
No.
like, sure, of course I will, you know. I'm like, but really it's the price. And he was like, well, just put out more balloons and more signs first.
Yeah.
Yep. And the things you do, it's interesting you bring that up. There's things that you guys have to do they hired you, you're kind of contracted, right? So
Yeah.
the answer is pretty much yes, even though in your gut you know, like that's not going to move the needle.
And I told him straight
I-
up, too.
Same.
I'm like, you know, to be honest, I love your idea of the balloons. But you know that the price is what brings people in, not the balloons.
That is so diplomatically said, sister. You can't say that any better. Good
Yeah.
for you. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the truth, though.
I mean,
know.
you have to try to get through to the clients, right? And I'm more brutally honest, than you are. That's just our personalities. But, and even then they're still like, I hear what you're saying, but my cousin's uncle, who's 98, told me when he found his house in 1942, he found it through an open house. And I'm like, yeah, that's when the MLS was in a big book that like and that you had to know a realtor and she'd flip through, the black and white photo. And,
Yeah.
and I said,
And you go to like 2 houses.
you go to 2 houses. I go, it's all online now. People are seeing the home. Pictures are great. They're only because I've had people want to do whole new photos. Oh, it's the photos. It has nothing to do with the photos. People don't believe the photos anyway. If the photo's too good, I've had clients tell me that, where the photo was too good. They get to the house and they're like, man, this doesn't look
like
at all like the photos. Then they're mad that they were duped for coming to look at the house. So that's something I tell my buyers. I'm like, can't smell these photos. You can't, there's different things to look at. We've talked about that before. Try to zoom in and see how crusty the border is,
Yeah.
the floorboard, to really know if that photo was kind of brightened and made better before you waste you and your client's time to go there, But they're not going to go there no matter what if it's not priced right. It could be the brightest, shiniest, prettiest, most balloons they've ever seen in their life. And if it's $50,000 over what it should be and the 2 neighbors' houses are, they're not going to look at it. They're not going to waste their time.
No.
People's time is very valuable.
Yeah.
I have had clients that are looky-loos, right? And they love to go look. You know what? I didn't think I was going to like this house at all, but I just want to see inside it. And I'm like, I love that for us. Yay. I love that. Why'd we measure every room? Oh, just trying to gauge size. You don't like this house at all? No, I knew I didn't in the photos. Oh, great. But most people, it's all about price.
Yeah.
All about price. I've never had someone say that, man, that's 60,000 over. Let's go take a look at that. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. I love those pictures. Yesterday, I saw they had a lot of balloons out there.
Stop it. Is it common right now for, or what I'm finding is that, much like you, Delee, a lot of people are like, ironically, I have more I'm actually really, people identify themselves as a buyer's agent. And they're like, for the first time in my career, I'm now a listing agent. My question is if you do land buyers, right, like in your experience, I'd love to know, I know what I'm experiencing from the buyer side, from the lending side, what is showing up for you with your buyers when they are seeing these properties, when they are priced right and they're trying to go in, tell me a little bit of what your experience has been with the current buyers you guys have had.
I've had issues with them thinking a better deal is going to come around. I really love this. It checks 99% of my boxes. But, the market's kind of crazy and there's so many houses. Like, what if the perfect one? I'm like, well, stop looking after we put an offer on this one and then you won't have to worry about it, But they're wanting to hold off for that next property. And I'm like, but this is the one. And then that one goes away. And then every property we see after that is not it. Checks 20% of the boxes, And so I'm having a lot of that where they're getting a FOMO. And I'm like, just pick one for the love of God. You're missing. And I can
That's
almost, like, I'll see it and I'm like, this is the one. And they're like, this is the one. And then they go home and they're like, we think we ought to wait. Just, maybe the price will drop again because everyone priced their stuff too high and it's ticking down. But, like, it's stopping. I've seen people that are like, we cannot go any lower than that. And so I really try to dig in and see, what did they buy that house at? Is it going to tick down anymore? It's not. They did all these upgrades. They put $100,000 into it. They're not going to tick lower than that. And they're like, I don't know. I think it will. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah. 100%.
What about you? What are you saying?
Right now I have a lot of investors, so they're just waiting for that perfect sweet deal to flip or like a quadplex.
Yep.
So they're kind of just waiting on the sidelines, and I bring them a couple and it's not quite right for their numbers. So that's most of my buyers right now.
Yeah. A lot of my buyers are the cash buyer investors.
What's up with Fiesta?
What? Do tell, Fiesta.
We had a showing, And then they canceled last minute. And so I was like, you need to get in there, you got to clean it. They want to see the inside because all the investors we've had have wanted to see
go
the
walk
outside.
Yeah.
This one wanted to see the inside. So I was like, you have one day. And he was like, I'm glad you let me know. I was fixing to go on vacation and not be able to be contacted, which was our issue. And no, it's still there.
Okay, well,
Bring your buyers, man.
have the same one who's still interested.
Yeah. If for that number, we can make it happen.
Y'all know the number.
It's a thing.
You know the
It's
number,
a thing. Yeah. You know they're firm on that.
Oh.
Your pretend client.
I ask you guys
Remember?
that question.
Yeah. Yeah.
To kind of also share, we talked a little bit about like that partnership piece.
Yeah.
To help you guys also set realistic expectations with our borrowers, our buyers and borrowers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in some of the things that I do, before I meet them, we have a discovery call where I'm ironing out basically a verbal prequal, like where are the holes and the snakes in the grass. I'm asking all the questions before I have them just do the application, right? Which I think is also a little bit different than other lenders. They just send an app. Well, that doesn't give you a picture, and why would you have someone just fill out an app and they're at 560 when you could have taken a call ahead of time and really then realized, oh, we don't even need to be hard pulling your credit anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
That discovery call is really important, so that sets it up. And then once we figure out, we're viable, yes, this is something we need to be moving forward, you're quite capable of and qualified, before they actually go shopping, we'll get them pre-approved. But one thing I do is called a pre-purchase consult, which helps my realtor partners. And what I do is, the world of Zoom/Teams, is I go through the numbers with our clients. And I'm also using that time for them to also understand realistically what they can ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because, an example would be if the house is $450,000, you can't go in asking for $420K off of the top. Like, or in concessions or 15, right? Like, well, however that would look.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to help my realtor partners gauge a strategy and share with them, like, this is what it will look like. You can ask for up to this much. This is where, if the market stays consistent, this is what rate you may get potentially if you were able to negotiate. And I feel like when you are able to then go back to your realtor partner and say they're clear on their numbers, here's their max that they have, and it would be ideal for them based on our conversation if in 12A, B, or C, whatever it is now,
Yeah, they
could
change
you
it.
land this amount because this is what would help them with their cash to close, or potentially a permanent rate buy down if that was what they chose.
Mm-hmm.
Or temp, right? Whole nother conversation about temp buy downs. But just that's really important to kind of help generate that touring.
Mm-hmm.
So when y'all walk into a property and we know it's been sitting for 45 days and they're like, we're going to ask for $100K off. No, like, that's silly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know not to do that because I've helped them understand, like, realistically,
Right.
this is how the market is predicated. Or
Yeah.
if you found a house that's been sitting 45 days, maybe you could ask for both, a little bit off the price and for concessions. Or, when I really show them the math of it's probably more advantageous to use the money for closing costs and or for your rate versus off the price.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
that strategy.
That we always
Oh.
go back and forth on that because I try to get like the very best scenario for my clients always.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done some fantastic things.
We have had some good ones.
We had like 26K off
Yeah.
and I think 50 under. Like we did do some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the client got like a 5.25 because
Yeah.
they're forever home and they were like, throw it all to the rate. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
understand the break even? They're like, I don't care. This market's not changing. I
Yeah.
want a 5. I want to see a 5. I was like, okay. You know what I mean?
Nice.
You don't,
Yeah.
I mean, I will educate them and show them, but at the end of the day, they get to choose how they want to use their money because it's
Right.
theirs.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm merely there to guide or, help educate so that they're using the money appropriately for themselves.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had asked about like what that's feeling like for you guys with the buyers that you're experiencing, and then to kind of just share with the audience, like I'm helping I like to be in this. That's why I said I'm not a third-party vendor. I'm your partner,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? Like strategizing with you so that we can get the offer one. Nobody
Right.
those. You guys spend an ample amount of times writing a contract's not easy, is it not? I mean, I know you can get broed at it, but it
Yeah.
takes a lot
That
for you to do
takes
that.
time.
And if I
Because
could,
double
every
check
single
everything and-
transaction is different.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
It's
so
really, the contract really isn't hard. It's all
the
the
addendums.
It's so many. I mean, some offers have like 10 separate documents that you're sending, and some are like 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sometimes when I have those, I'm like, what am I missing?
Yeah.
Something missing? Like, this is too easy.
Yeah.
What's
I'm like, this
happening?
didn't take me long enough.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Those
what
are-
kind of what kind of loans are you seeing right now? Like, what's your favorite loan? Is there a certain loan that is like better for a bigger group of people, or is it all individual per person? Like, how do you decide?
yeah, that's a good question. So I can do quite a few, right? Your eyes would go cross-eyed if I told you the amount of programs that we have, right? I always just say, just remember I'm a resource, and if I can't do it, then I'm going to provide you a way or something that could be equivalent to. I have no problem. My ego doesn't get in the way. At the end of the day, I want to service you and the clients. So if I can't do it, but I know somebody else has this cool program at a different bank, although I know you don't like the word BANK, like it may just be that that's how we get them in.
Yeah.
You know, so I have to step aside from myself, and it's not about me. It's about like, how can I service our relationship and our client? Mostly right now I'm seeing, you know, at one time, do you remember like when everything was on fire, like nobody was taking FHA or VA buyers, right? It's like, first off, that's discrimination of some sort. How do you not, right? It's
Right.
like conventional and cash were king, and then maybe they would look at an FHA or VA. And so I do a lot of VA and FHA programs, and typically, Delia, I'll know where to kind of organize the program based on the conversation I have in that discovery call. That really uncovers everything.
Nice.
Because I'll be asking questions about credit, debt. I'll start running just very prelim, quick numbers on, okay, we've got a car, we've got 10,000 in student loans. Like I can do all of that very quickly, just kind of knowing where might we fit before we even apply. And so your traditional, you know, conventional FHA, VA, USDA is certainly what we do. I'm doing quite a few first-time homebuyers are actually able to get in the market right now if they have been waiting, because the affordability is a bit more there because
Yeah.
prices are ticking down.
Yep.
And so I love the fact that people aren't afraid of an FHA loan, you know, as long as you're educating
Yeah.
the client about what it entails, you know, and that they can understand the numbers. Again, it goes back to that, I call it a PPC, right? Your pre-purchase consult. I like to open up my wheelhouse. I have a outside broker that I use. Her name is Kendra Eakins, and she's with NewFi Lending. And she does all of my like non-QM stuff, right? So things that don't fit in your traditional Fannie and Freddie Mae box. So like DSCR loans, right? Which are good for investors. People who are 1099, you know, hairdressers or nail techs, they make money.
Yeah.
Right, but they don't have your traditional type of W-2 / you know, they're 1099. So we can do
Realtor.
like, yeah, yes.
And how long is
Yeah.
it? 5 years they have to have 1090. They have to be in business before. I heard.
Yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
sure.
I heard that they had to be in business for 5 years of the 1099 to be able to be approved for the loan, or is that not correct?
So Freddie and Fannie is really kind of like, they kind of lock you down a little bit. That's why if it were somebody, i.e. a realtor who is cash flow heavy or excuse me, has cash flow or has the ability to put a little bit more down, we would go bank statement loan. And there's
Okay.
programs for 12 months, and then there's some programs that you can do 24 months.
Oh wow.
And so it's not really predicated on the business. Naturally, you want to show as much income as you can. So, you know, the rule of thumb is you need 2 years, right? Freddie and Fannie want you 2 years of tax returns. But this non-QM way to go, if you're going to go bank statement, like you qualify for way more money that way than you would because, you know, you're doing your traditional financing through Freddie and Fannie. If you write off, right? Like Nicole, she is an independent contractor. We
Right.
write everything off.
Yeah.
we make way more than what we show. Naturally, that's
Right.
that's good entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
Saying that word right?
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship.
You did really
so
great.
yeah, so that's smart business practice. You don't want to be taxed at what you're really making.
Right.
But she
But
makes
you
good
have
money,
to,
and so we would have to go
use-
the other way. Yeah, go bank
Right.
statement, right? So
Yeah.
they literally go through and see how much money you make that's being deposited, and they come up with an income source, which then helps
Oh.
us then determine qualification.
nice.
Now, those non-QM programs, they have some nuances, bigger down payments,
Mm-hmm.
credit score limitations,
Mm.
right? There's some things there, right?
Right.
But like I just tell people all the time is like, you were talking about this earlier, people, they handcuff themselves before you even have
Right.
a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the biggest thing. It's like
Because
just
they've gone online and then tried to do it, and they're like, womp womp, you know?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
big box.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even if they can't purchase right then, it's good to see where you're at so that you can plan and you can be like, hey, you need to pay off your credit cards $5,000. Then you're gonna have a debt to income ratio that we can work with, and then it's like tangible,
Mhm.
right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's what we're here for.
Sometimes people come in with, all kinds of credit potential issues, right? And it's a little beyond my scope. That's why I've worked really hard to kind of build the people, just like y'all have vendors. Like, I want to build myself around people that I know I can trust that will be with my clients to improve their credit scores. And so I work with a credit specialist who's out of San Antonio. Her name's Ashley Walters, and she's fantastic. She's Paramount Credit Services, yeah. And she's been doing it for a really long time. But what I love about it is, one, she's local. She's not some random law
Right.
firm.
Yeah.
She's somebody that I meet at least, if not quarterly, every 6 months. I'll have lunch with her probably this month. So, and talking and sending her over to people so she can help have an action item plan. Because it isn't. I don't like the word no.
Yeah,
But I
right.
can live with a not right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And that's really, to me, keeping people empowered and motivated is the key element to people being able to see that this is a possibility for them.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I've heard lately about this new thing that came out where Freddie Mae and Freddie Mac, I think, they will now look at your rental history for your credit, which is amazing. Because if you don't have great credit or you don't have credit cards or, there's so many different reasons why, it's good to use that. But you can use your rental history if you pay it on time. It'll help build your credit.
Yeah.
That's going to be really powerful for people who are coming fresh out of college and maybe they haven't incurred any debt, or they
Right.
don't have any debt at all.
Yeah.
This is going to be a huge piece for them to be able to use that as a positive to establishing a credit history, right?
Yeah.
I haven't yet
So
come across
awesome.
that, but we're super excited for this, what that might look like.
Yeah.
To be able to give people that credit. Because you have a lot of people, like my parents put the lockdown on me. I didn't get my first credit card till I was graduated college.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah,
like,
I
"No,
didn't
credit."
either.
Right? But not all bad. I tell people all the time, debt is not bad.
Right.
How you manage your debt
Yeah.
is what's important.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like
100%.
that's the key.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So
Don't
You
keep
know,
it maxed out.
exactly. And
Oh,
or
God.
just know how to manage it correctly. And the biggest thing I tell people is never be late.
Yeah.
Even if it means I hear this all the time. I have a credit card, I pay it off every month. Great. But life happens.
Yeah.
We get a sick dog, right? God forbid something happens accident wise. Just make that minimum monthly,
Yeah.
right? And most credit card companies at this point have a way for you to have your monthly tied into your bank account so that you can always pay over. But I would tell people, if you can expedite that, just make sure your minimum monthly is always
Being
met.
paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because late pays, they destroy credit like that.
Yeah.
It's like 35% of the pie, when you're breaking it up to how much the algorithm reads your credit score. Late pays, friends, they're tough.
That is
Right.
hard.
Yeah.
And so
Had a few.
life happens.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we have to, and people are always like, well, when is it going to be better? It takes a long time,
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure I share that piece about it's going to really help people who didn't have established credit and now this will look as though they do, and they'll just have to prove it,
Right.
right? A lease
I love
agreement.
that.
You know,
Right.
their bank statement, maybe they'll show 12 bank statements to an underwriter, shows all their rent going out, boom, boom,
They'll
2,500.
take Venmo payments
Yep.
too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like if you pay your landlord Venmo, they'll look at that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do kind of our little fun section where we get to ask you fun questions. Funner questions.
Funner.
So, what is the most annoying thing that a realtor does? That like a lender's pet peeve. Like if you could tell us, don't do that, and like shake us, right? What is that? What is one thing that we do that throws a wrench in your work? This is helping you
Yeah.
and us.
I wanna
You're like,
I
I
wanna
don't
say
you don't have to
this.
name any of the things I've done. I know. Just kidding.
I want to say it is so what's really tough from the lending perspective is when you go, I have gotten this, and I'll be responsible first about it.
Yeah.
If the relationship hasn't been set, and maybe I've only talked to them once or twice, maybe even met them, but there's not been a true established relationship, I get this. Hey, Kym, can you call this person? They want to get pre-approved right now. I'm showing them at 4:30. It's 3:00.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you tell me a little bit about, like, are they employed? Oh, I don't know. Credit score? Don't know. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So
Right.
and that's hard because then I feel like I'm not doing my due diligence of being able to help you, right? But at the same time, no, I can't get them pre-approved in an hour. I don't,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
I don't like to just flip out my application,
Yeah.
right? Like I need to hear a little bit. Are you about to go spend? My job is to protect your time.
Yeah.
I'll ask 3 personal questions in the first 3 minutes of our convo is, where do you work? Do you have any idea like how you get paid? And do you know your credit score? Do you use something to monitor it?
Yeah.
I'll know right then.
Yeah.
And to try to help save and mitigate your time. So that's a tough one for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often,
Yeah.
but I also will be 100% responsible that I may not have set up that realtor to share with me in my systems how I like for it to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? And they're excited and they're hungry and they're eager.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just have to really be very transparent. Like, I'm absolutely happy to help them. I don't know that I can get them fully pre-approved. If you want to show them properties, please know you're flying blind.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to get them going as soon as I can.
Yeah.
Right.
And so a lot of times they're like, oh, I appreciate that. Okay, yeah, I don't want to lose them. I want, because they're excited, they're new. It happens a lot with newer
New
agents.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? They get that Zillow lead or they get a lead or something and
Yeah.
they're just so excited. And I'm not here to, not Debbie Downer, but I do like to be authentic and
Prepared.
Prepared.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
operate
you-
in integrity.
But I mean, it's just kind of, rude too, because you're busy.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes like a day.
I understand you're having dinner, but can you pre-approve these people in 10 minutes? I'm about to show them something. They called me and I hopped. So,
That's
yeah.
one. And then the second one is when realtors will dictate my schedule. Hey,
Oh.
Kym, I have somebody who you can call at 2:00.
Oh.
Or they're expecting you to call at 2:00.
Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, that's a
If-
tough one.
If you know me, I just shared how disciplined I am. Like, I have time blocks. I block my day, right, on money-making activities, prospecting. Like, my day is hammered specifically.
Nice.
And so I don't do well when you try to step in and tell me my schedule.
Yeah.
Right.
And
That's understandable.
and
That is,
so, again,
those
you
are
just-
all very understandable things.
but it happens.
Really? That is
And it does happen sometimes too with
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
it's happened with some high producing agents, and that's tough too from a lender's point of view, right? Because you know that they're a good agent and you want to deliver,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like, oh man, but it goes back on me.
Yeah.
Again, that's on me because maybe I haven't set them up with, hey, I don't work really well. Go to lunch and say, hey, I don't work really well when you say, call them
Yeah.
at 2, they'll be ready.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've ever had a client be like, I can talk, hey, can I set you up with the lender? Yeah, I can talk tomorrow at this time. I'm wondering if, that's why I think that would come into play, where you're like, hey,
I always feel like
but even then I would be like, let me check with them first,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, they said they can talk tomorrow at 2 if you're able to. If not, y'all connect and figure it out, right? Because I don't want to be a
Right.
middleman of shit I'm not in charge of. I always try to be like, I'm going to connect y'all and y'all kind of figure it out.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
call me when you want to look at that house.
Yeah.
You know,
Those are the two things, I think.
Yeah.
I think about that.
yeah.
Good questions. What irritates you about lenders? Each of you take a second.
Oh.
What is it that you don't
have
like
an
that lenders
absolute
may happen?
thing. I'll go first. I do not like when they do not include me in the emails, right? Like I don't need to be included in the like
Intro.
or not the intro, but not like these are your issues, this, because sometimes clients don't want you to know that, like it's not our job to know their credit and their stuff, like all of the lender stuff that you're supposed to know. We don't need to know that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like, hey, I need you to fill out that document. It has a deadline at 2 p.m. and if it's not signed by then we have to push everything. Like, key me into that. Like, if we have a client who doesn't check their email ever and, you know, only is responding to one or the other of us, keep me in on that so we're
Right.
not missing deadlines that I could have easily called and been like, hey, did you see that email? You know, and so having a lender that doesn't feel the need to do that, and I've only had this once and it was kind of wild. I had a lender that was reaching out to the seller's agent to discuss my client's file and all the
That's
business
wild.
of the file. And any lender I've talked to about that has been like, they should not have a job, and that lender that is a breach of their
Privacy.
privacy of their client. It's my job to handle all of that with the other agent. There was no need for what was happening, but she felt she didn't like talking to me because I would call her out on, and that became a mess of a deal. And I was calling her out on something because she wasn't doing her job and lying to my client. And then anyway. So yeah, keep me looped in, please, God. Let me help you. Help me help you, right?
Right, yeah.
And never, ever, ever discuss my client's information with the other party. You're not allowing me to negotiate on behalf of my client, and I am that bulldog. I want that ability. And those are the two things.
It's good.
Mine is not calling me back.
Yeah.
You know, like we're trying to get an offer written. You got questions during that, you know, and just double checking, like, how much can we ask for in concessions? Is that going to bother, all the things, right? And so just someone who they don't call or text, or they'll call you back the next day. And I'm just like, I had a lender, we were about to go under contract, and we were writing the contract, and I called her the day before because I knew she wanted to write an offer on it, but we were going to go see it first. So I told her, I'm like, hey, can you get me a pre-approval letter ready to go, because I'm pretty sure we're going to write this offer tomorrow. And so she's like, sure. Then nothing. And I'm like, I ping her at like 6 p.m. I'm like, hey, just checking in on that letter. No answer. And I'm like, weird. So
right.
we go look at the house, and I'm like, hey, just letting you know, we're going to go look at the house in like an hour. We'll probably plan on writing it. I'll keep you posted. Nothing. Then we go look at the house. Sure enough, wants to write the offer. And I'm like, okay, well, no answer. I'm like, she must not want to work, you know? So, and the reason why we used her was because she was my client's really good friend, family friend. So we're trying to use a family friend. And I had used her before, and it hadn't been like that, but maybe she's going through something, I didn't know about or whatever. But yeah, I just went to my other lender that I've got a couple on rotation that I use for like certain people, and just went with them and got it done.
Yeah.
Never spoke to the other one again. She never even reached out.
That's wild.
And it's
That's-
probably because maybe she felt bad or embarrassed that I used someone else, because I know she saw the photos on Facebook. Congratulations on your new house.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I just like, I don't get the no calling thing.
Yeah. Especially from a local lender.
Yeah.
What?
I'm like,
And it's not hard to go, hey, so sorry, I'm not able to X, Y, and Z. Like, provide an explanation, just something.
right.
So then,
something.
F off or
even,
something,
yeah,
you know?
even if it's like a, hey, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
Yeah.
you're going to punt the business, punt it with integrity.
Right.
Yes.
Jeez, just
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
I'm not the right
Too
fit.
busy or
yeah,
something.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
I also think she lives outside of town a little bit, like in the country, but I wouldn't think that would, I don't know, like maybe it's just slower there. Like I feel like in Austin, like it's
You
very
always have an
fast paced.
Yeah,
But
but
you're
you
being
gave-
really sweet.
I mean, I don't
She's
know.
always
I'm
really
like,
sweet.
yeah,
I'm like,
you
yeah,
gave way
fuck
too
that
many.
lady. And she's like, maybe her phone didn't work. And I'm like, maybe she's a bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
she not. I'm just like, you as a lender right now too. Like, just to piggyback on that, like, if you know your client, you're excited from the lender's point of view. I just told y'all it's a bit crickety.
Yeah.
So if you've got shoppers out, you're kind of on.
Yeah.
You know, that's why every Friday I write out a text to, you know, anywhere between 15 and 20 realtors. I know you're working on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Right.
So if you need me, I want you to know the availability.
Yes.
I may not
Yes.
be glued to my computer, but I want you to have a resource.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
And
So
I
that
really
you know.
appreciate those.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's-
That's another little tweak, right? That's
Yeah.
that's about what are things you do different. That's another one. I wouldn't have never thought that was, you know, different, but I get endless compliments when I do that on Fridays.
100%.
People are like, "Thank you so much for this."
Right.
And it may be with a realtor that I'm not their number one, and I get that too,
Yeah.
right? But my consistent actions of letting them know I'm there for them,
100%.
they at least know if they're working and maybe their number one doesn't answer, I may get a chance to slide in. And not
Yeah.
like I'm trying to steal a relationship or act out of malice. I literally am trying to be there for them
Yeah.
because I would like to build a relationship. I have plenty of realtors I work with. And if someone came to me wanting a realtor, you know, I need to know who the best fit is
Yeah.
for their particular case, just like you guys do with the lenders that you know personally, know and like.
Yeah.
How do they fit?
Yeah.
Like I'm like totally nervous to do this because it's new. I was I'm gonna share with you guys. I'm starting today. It'll probably post tomorrow, maybe not, but I'm doing a realtor highlight every week, once a week.
Oh, I like
A realtor
that.
highlight, and I'm like so like I have it like when I first do it. Realtors I work with very closely are like, bitch, why wasn't I not first? Or bitch, when's mine?
I know. I was like,
know.
am I first?
Oh, see? That's exactly
I was going
right.
to ask you who your
Yes.
favorite realtor was. Doesn't sound like it's me.
Don't say.
Yikes.
Don't say.
I'm just
I'm
kidding.
but that point, that just like I'm a little nervous, like what that's gonna feel like. But I'm like, no, because everybody's gonna get showcased, right?
Yeah.
That's important when it
Say
goes.
you
back
drew it
to,
out of a hat, even if you
Oh, I
didn't.
like that.
Right.
There
I
you
might
go.
just randomize that bitch.
Yeah, like the little
Yeah.
wheel. The
Yeah.
little- The little
That-
wheel app.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I never win anything, so I'll probably be last.
Stop.
Hey, I did win on bingo. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, last week.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on, what'd you get?
I got a big Stanley cooler,
Okay.
and then I got a bottle of tequila. I got a Magic Bullet blender.
Oh, I love those.
Good thing.
And then some margarita mix and some agave and like some other fun things. But I literally never win anything. So when a blackout bingo also,
Okay.
and I was like hazing everyone. Like every time someone would win or I wouldn't get a number, I was like, shame, boo. and then I won the last one. I was like, oh yeah. And they were like, she's lying, because I was just being obnoxious. But I actually won. I was like, I actually won, guys. I actually won. And they were like, of course she did. Loudmouth. Yeah. So
I should.
we had so much fun.
When you talk about like if you're going to be first or what have you, it really has been this moment where I'm like, how am I going to decide who's
Make
first?
it super
right?
random.
I love
or pick
might
whoever
just-
you feel most comfortable like talking about, and then like if you mess it up, they'll be able to take it.
Do you
Don't
do you think that's cheesy? Do y'all got like?
No,
would
I
you
love
like
that. Yeah,
Like all the
realtors
like
love
all
to
the
be talked
people,
about.
right? Like all the people I did masterminds with, like
Yeah.
they're automatic,
Yes.
right? Because that's like 17 women, or well, 17 people, but mostly women. With that being said, like, that's 17 weeks that I get
Yeah.
to highlight somebody between now and the end of the year.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
kind of
I
my
love
thought.
that.
It's slow, and I'm just like, how can I generate and also foster my relationship just a little bit different?
Will we be able to share it?
Yeah.
Yay!
Like,
no,
and-
realtors love that. It's
Okay,
not.
I wanted to
cheesy.
know if like
Yeah.
how y'all would feel about it.
No, I love it.
No, I love it.
Are you gonna ask
cool.
people to like if there's anything specific you want, like when you're just like,
No, I'm actually I'm actually making the post.
Oh, I
how
love that.
How I feel
oh,
about
how you feel
them.
about them. Oh,
Because I think that's important
that.
too. That'll be on my page. I've been pretty consistent every Wednesday with some kind of, you have to be in this social game, guys, and I'm not great at it.
I am not either.
I mean,
you
just
are. You're so good at it.
Just being honest, like even doing this podcast, I was like so nervous. I told y'all that the other day. I can talk, but it's like, oh, I'm being recorded. Like, it's such a weird feeling. But at the same time, I'm like, you have to let that go because this is the new norm, right?
I even have to work on that. Like, y'all say I'm good, but I see people that are like amazing, and I'm like,
I'm like anyone
damn
who's
it.
doing it is pretty great. 'Cause I'll record it and then I'm like, I'm not posting that. How do I add all the extra shit? That's what I mess up on. Like I'll have
you don't
a
need
good
to add
thing.
anything.
No,
Just yourself.
Yeah.
Way easier. Simple.
Yeah.
More is less.
And I find that people are
Less
like,
is more, I
they-
mean.
that's all they care about. They
Yeah.
just want to see you.
yeah.
Right. That's
Right?
the whole thing is that, there's this one realtor, and we had to go, damn it. But
Yeah.
What?
It goes by fast, right? So
Yeah.
fast.
Damn.
I know.
I know.
I know.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finish though. Tell me about
Yeah.
this.
she
this
just
person.
she just does a really good job about like not talking about real estate. Like she'll set her phone up and she'll just be sitting on her couch like eating her bowl of cereal or something, and it'll be like a fancy thing she made that's like super healthy, and she'll be like, "Do y'all like bananas Fosters?" And she'll be like,
Southern Belle.
she's so cute, and she'll just but then she'll ask a question at the bottom that's like healthy or no, or like is it whatever, right?
Yeah.
But it's for the engagement,
Yeah.
and it's smart,
Yeah.
and I never think to do that when I'm sitting at home. I'm like, I don't have anything like important or real estate to say, so I'm just not going to get on. But really and truly, it's just to be top of mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
more
That's
than
what
anything.
Friday text, our top
Yeah.
of mind.
Yes.
Yes.
And so anyways,
Yeah.
it is a whole thing. It's
Yeah.
like
That
I
could be
hate
a
it,
whole,
but I love it.
that could be a whole nother podcast.
It
on,
could.
like how that piece of our business works, and you have to do it.
Yeah.
I've been a
Right.
resistance forever about it, but I'm just finding ways. Like, how will it work for me? How does it make me feel good?
Right.
It makes me feel good to talk about the people I care about and that I work with.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, how can it be outside of me but highlight the people professionally?
I love
Right.
that.
So you'll see one probably today.
Yay.
Just be-
I
Cool.
love that.
Yay.
You don't have to do
No,
it.
it was
You could-
really gonna be you.
Aw.
You know.
That's so sweet. I love that.
All right.
Well, thank you so much
Yes.
for coming on.
Thank you.
If
Yes.
anyone has
You're our first
any-
lender.
Okay, let me be the only, baby. Let me be the only. I'm just kidding. I understand your relationships. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But it's good to get other perspective too. Like, what are other people doing? I'd love to watch that. I'd
Yeah.
like to see it.
right.
Yeah.
I've told y'all this before. This business can get catty, and it doesn't have to be. There's
No.
enough business for everybody, and just love each other up. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not gonna let my ego get in the way of being able to learn from another loan officer who has ample years of experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? If he or she can make me better, then why do I want a relationship? I want to see them succeed.
Yeah.
Right? You bring into what you put out, and I want good energy, then I'm going to try to give it out to get it back,
Yeah.
Right.
and Moon Knight will help me with that.
Yes. Absolutely.
Love that.
All
Thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
on.
thank you for having me.
Yes, everyone go follow Kym Burns and Benchmark Mortgage
Yeah.
and ask us any questions, and we'll help you get
Yes.
into your home.
Till next time.
All right.